solar energy, and all those kind of things, and they should make more money, even more than what they are doing, and never run into problem like recently they ran into Gulf of Mexico. And this is outrageous, because if we as a nation decide to exist more than next 50 or 100 years, we should think a little bit differently. Crude oil reserves are limited, no matter where else they find it. Even if they find it in sky and in universe, still they are limited. So what we should be doing is keep those precious raw material as a source of raw material, as a source of medicine and food. For energy, we should use solar energy, passive solar energy.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but can we talk about the passive solar energy? Because I don't know what you're talking about, and you do. What do you mean?
You see, passive solar energy system, you could also create windmill is one of, the wind towers is one of those. You capture the cool air, air and convert it to cool air, and you eliminate the use of air conditioning.
But we're talking about passive solar. Give us a
passive
context
solar,
for that.
That is, designing houses in a way that we cool the space in our houses. Like, there are different designs out there.
Okay.
One which I like the most, is the one that we have it in the city I come from. It's Yazd, and that city we have wind catcher, and this wind catcher you can capture the wind. It is in form of tower, and it doesn't matter from which direction you get the wind. You can capture it, and then it flows down the wind. It cools off, and the heat dissipates towards upward. And as a result of it, we get like 70 degrees, 75 degrees, up to sometimes 60 degree cool air, depending how tall the tower is. And that is pretty cool. And this happens in areas where we have heat over 110 degrees. Now, areas like Florida is a little bit problematic because we have humidity. So we have to install dehumidifier in the tower. As a result of it, we capture all the water, which is also a blessing at the same time, because we can convert that humidity into drinking water. And we can get a free source of water for ourselves in Florida. In areas like Texas and Arizona, where we have less humidity or no humidity, the system will work perfectly, but we cannot capture any humidity to convert it to drinking water.
You're also personally invested in solar too, aren't you?
Yes.
Talk about your own private investment in solar and why you've invested in it.
I came to United States in 1977. I came to Florida just to create a solar system, which I did, and we manufactured, and I have a patent also. And we developed quite a bit of different system. Among other, it was evacuated high temperature collector. And we were very successful back then. From 1980 till 1985, I was doing very well. Then, unfortunately, President Reagan came and eliminated the tax credit. As a result of it, we lost the business. We had developed at the same time, I was planning to develop an air conditioning system, which we were doing. It was working a little bit, but with limited resources, it was impossible to do it, but I was hoping to do it eventually by selling solar system and spending money in R&D. In this time, the Department of Energy, the U.S. Department of Energy asked me, they have a delegation from China, and there were some ministers and professors and very high-level people. They came to my plant and they asked me to show them. I did. And afterwards, I gave them one of these evacuated high-temperature tube, which I developed back then, as a sample to them. Back then, they didn't have, they were not so famous like today. They were not wealthy like they are today. And I gave them. And some 3 years ago, because I was disappointed. I gave up everything because my sales went down to zero, and I decided to abandon the whole thing because everybody was doing that. Then I went, so I gave them. 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, I went to a solar show in San Diego, and I see all these tubes, which I gave them some 25 years ago. They are on the market. The Chinese are manufacturing, and they are selling quite a bit of it. And when I asked them, I thought I may distribute this product now in the United States, and I asked them whether I could get a distributorship for Florida. They told me no. If you are lucky, you can get it for Miami. And I told them, these are the tubes that I gave a sample to you, to your ministers and so on back in 1985. And they looked at me as if I was joking with them. And the fact was I did. And then at that point, I was thinking seriously, what is really happening with America? America is going down the drain. We gave everything, every manufacturing facility we had, we outsourced it to other countries in the world, and we have nothing now there. Now that as we are moving forward, America is going to become, due to unemployment and everything else is happening in Florida, in America, and elsewhere, and we are going to become a low labor cost country. And the fact will be that very soon they will be erecting manufacturing plant in America, in Florida, and elsewhere. The big question remains, who is going to own these facilities, us or the foreigner? And this is the big question today. We as Americans have to decide whether we want to work for other nation and become a third world country, or we want to be in charge of our own destiny. And this is where I am asking every single American people to start thinking about this thing and to try to start the manufacturing themselves and take control over their own destiny.
Florida is, I'm sure, in a state of concern about the Gulf and what's happening. And I don't know that they're capping that oil well or not. I know that there's an effort to. I don't know if it's done. But what do you think should happen in Florida regarding everything from banking to foreclosures to the generation of jobs? Talk about it, and why do you think you're suited to be governor?
Kim, you see, first of all, the oil spill in Gulf of Mexico, it was the biggest natural disaster in the history of mankind. I said, Florida is never going to be the same which we knew one time. You go out there, it is a very sad story. You see all the animals, the fish, the sharks, all kind of sea animals life are soaked in oil. Now, if we continue like that, our children and ourselves will be looking like that. We will be soaked in those oil, and we look like these animals today. So we have to change it. If I was a governor, I would ban the oil drilling in the state of Florida, and I would work towards it to ban along the coast of America everywhere. We should go for solar for very many reasons. And that is one of those is this. You see, we are importing oil. We are devaluing our currency. We are hurting our people. And if we go solar, we create a lot of jobs, a lot of good jobs, good paying jobs all over the nation. And as a result of it, we would need less oil. Now, many people tell me solar energy is not efficient and
that it's expensive.
Energy prices must rise in order to make it competitive and in order to make a substitution easy. I can tell you one thing, and this I found it when I was writing my dissertation in 1973. I came to the conclusion that if today somebody set the oil price to $200, $300, $1,000, there won't be a substitution of any kind. What will really happen, the economy of the West will